Hey all, my name is Kade. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe down below. And if you're not, hello, welcome back. So today's video is actually going to be different from my other normal videos where, I'm just traveling or shopping, whatever. This one is more like a book review, inspirational stuff that I've gathered so far. And I'm just going to share it with you guys that I feel like y'all could use. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I also just want to put in there the disclaimer that, I'm not a doctor, not yet, or a psychologist. So, I definitely seek professional help if you find yourself in a situation where, you need professional help. And if not, I hope what I'm about to say to you guys help in some shape, form, or something. But excuse me being the robe also. I stay in my robe at home, y'all. So it's just, I don't know, it's just comfy. All right, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So I have my journal that I kind of like journal here and there, and then also my laptop where I kind of typed up everything I want to say today. So the first thing we're gonna start off with is called emotional regulation. So I've never come across this terminology before, so this is something new to me. I actually listened to this podcast and it was really inspirational to me. It was with Lewis Howes, and he gave his own definition of emotional regulations, talking about, that's probably one of the biggest things that humans can work on to improve themselves. And this is what he had to say about emotional regulations. He said, because if we don't have the power to regulate our feelings around a situation, an environment, something that happens in an event, then that event has power over us, as opposed to us over that moment. And if it has power over us to where we act so strongly, we need to ask ourselves, why am I so triggered? Where is that wound? And ultimately, you shouldn't react and be overwhelmed so emotionally that it takes you away from your love and your mission in life. And when I heard this, it just kind of like eye-opening, and when you go through life, things would come your way, and certain stuff won't faze you, some stuff would. Now, I'm not saying you don't have feelings. What I'm saying is you can emotionally learn, literally the terminology, how to regulate your emotions. And one of the things that the book that I actually read that actually emphasizes this is called How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole. This is what it looks like. And I just love it because she kind of just go over childhood traumas, how everyone, somewhere, some part of their life, they experience a trauma. And, in reference with Lewis Howes, I can just see the connection there. Certain stuff maybe trigger us more than others just because of something that happened in your younger age or just recently. And with this, she kind of points out different things that you could be triggered by, different traumas that could happen when you were a kid, a parent figure that, wasn't really a parent figure, and, just rewriting your whole childhood, whatever you were traumatized about, and see it in a different kind of perspective that would make you heal from that wound, And so I love that book. So if you, want to learn actually how to do the work on how to actually improve your inner self and not react so emotionally to things that happen in your life, I recommend that book. And with emotional regulations, I think that is one thing that we all could work on, At the end of the day, what I've gathered so far with everything that have happened in my life is that some people just don't have the mental capacity or physical capacity to understand you and comprehend you. And with that being said, you can't take things personally. So for instance, you talk to somebody about your feelings, you talk to somebody about something that happened, and if they disregard it, some people you just gotta accept. They mentally can't comprehend what you're saying because they can't, their mind is not equipped for that level of, emotions. And you just got to accept that. You can't take that personally. You just got to accept that, you know, some people are not there with you. And that's just something that the sooner you accept and the sooner you're able to bring yourself to understand that people have different capacity of storing informations, then, you know, you can move on from there. And at a certain point, you know, if you feel like this is, you know, not going to work out in the end, then, you know, you may lose that person, you know. But if one day that person's able to mentally and physically be able to be one-on-one with you, be able to understand you, then yeah, so be it. Another thing that I would like to talk about is this thing called self-efficacy, okay? So what this means is that it is your personal belief in your abilities to succeed in a particular situation. So there's actually this quote by Albert Bandura, and he describes self-efficacy by the belief in one's capabilities to organize and execute the courses of action required to manage prospective situations. So with this, it's talking about how much self-efficacy do you have in yourself that you're able to solve through a problem given who you are. So people who have higher self-efficacy, they have a more, I would say, internal locus of control, where they know their value, they know their worth. And it's like, okay, so to get from point A to point B, this is what I have to do. And, you know, you try to solve your way through to get to point B. People who are on the lower self-efficacy, they're more like, they have an external locus of control where it's like, you know, no matter what I do, I won't get to point B. It's like they just kind of don't have the ability to see it through. And so with this, I've seen this a lot with people and even myself sometimes. And it just really comes with your ability to see, you know, to organize and see how you're going to get to point A to point B. And, you know, how to actually do that work is, I think, since self-efficacy does influence self-esteem, it starts with, you know, actually believing in yourself, doing small things that you can achieve. And that is like, you know, proving your own self that I can do that, you know. So it's just more of proving to yourself that you are capable of doing things. And I truly believe that the higher self-esteem you have, the better goals in life you would have, because you just have that belief that, you know, you can achieve anything. We were talking about locus of control, and that is one major thing that I want to talk about too. So there's two different ways of looking at it. There's an internal locus of control and external locus of control. So the internal one is you reflect everything on yourself. So for example, you failed an exam, you would think, you know, oh, maybe I didn't study as much. External locus of control is more like, oh, the professor had favorites, you know, the test was too hard, the test wasn't fair. That's more like blaming other things other than yourself. So the importance of this is some people just have that external locus of control in life where everything that happens to them, they blame it on other people, their parents, their friends, their environment, everything but themselves. So with these kind of people, you know, you kind of give the control to other people to dictate your life, you know. As to the internal locus of control, you know, since you kind of blame yourself for it, like, you know, maybe I would call it more like reflection. So like maybe I didn't study as much, or next time I'll study harder. And this is more, I guess, in a healthier way for you, just because you see your weakness. And this, you're highlighting your weakness. Like maybe I need to study more, you know? And you can use this as an opportunity to improvise and get better with it. You know, and this is something that I would say it gives you a growth opportunity, because if you see what you're doing wrong, you can go back and change it and, you know, expect a different result. Albert Einstein actually have a quote that I love, and it's, The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. And with this, I truly believe that, like, let's say you never change and you just expect a different outcome. Like, that's not possible, Like, if I'm never going to the gym and I want, like, this banging body, like, girl, come on. Like, you got to put in some kind of work, some kind of change to make a different results. And so with the internal locus of control, you should start to reflect on yourself. Like, let's say I'm not in a place in my life where I want to be. Well, reflect on your, choices. And one of these, I would say, is who you surround yourself with. So let's say your crowd. If you constantly hang out with people who goes out partying, drinking, doing drugs and stuff, you're probably gonna become one of them, like, it's not surprising, because who you surround yourself with pretty much influence your habits, and ultimately you just kind of blend in with them. So now let's say you are with somebody who's successful, who have their priorities straight, you're probably gonna go places. And what I mean by that is, if you tend to hang out with people who are successful, they're gonna connect you to other successful people, and together you all are just gonna grow together. Now, I'm not saying, don't hang out with people who parties, don't hang out with people who drinks and stuff. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is whoever you surround yourself with pretty much influence you and your goals. And I think that was one of the realest quotes I've ever heard growing up is, who you surround yourself with is probably who you're going to end up being in life. And that's just the reality of it. So, people who have the external locus of control, who just blame everybody else but themselves, I think with that, they could use some kind of thing where they should start to reflect on their choices, like I said, and why they got to where they're at. So, the moment you stop blaming the moment you stop blaming the environment and actually start doing changes for yourself, start making different kind of choices, like, like, I'm not going out to drink this weekend, take one weekend off, you're going to start to see that you're going to improve. Not only will, your body thank you, of course, but you're just going to think clearer. You're just going to have different things that you need to focus on. Let's say you're not out drinking no more. Now you have more time on your plate. You can be setting different goals to achieve, actually being productive and not letting other people control your life, And that's just my perspective on it, is just, if you want a better life, only you can change it. Like, you can't expect other people to change it for you. You can't expect other people from their choices that it's because of that you are the way you are. Everybody always have the choice to start anywhere and get anywhere. I'm just a firm believer that if you want it enough, you'll get it. And so when people are like, I was never given the chance, or let's say I didn't come from money, like, don't get me wrong, I didn't come from money too, but like, I would say you ultimately write your own story. And it doesn't matter where you start. It's about what you do during the journey to get there. And, if you choose to accept that, I'm accepting my situation right now and I'm not willing to grow, then you made that choice. Nobody did that choice but you, So you can't blame other people. And you just got to reflect on yourself and know that, you have the power to change at any time who you are, your situation, anything. That was a lot, y'all. Okay, so pause. So the next two books that I'm going to talk about is Atomic Habits, right here, by James Clear. And this is probably one of my favorite books that I've read so far. And just not trying to get scientific with you guys or anything, but atomic is like the smallest atoms that, make up everything, right? So with that definition, it kind of defines it in the story also. And then habits is like what you do every day, and that it becomes like a lifestyle. So Atomic Habits is kind of like a book that tells you everything that adds up, that becomes your habit. And it kind of tell you tiny things, and it goes by this thing called what do you call it, get better 1% each day. And so how it teaches you to create a good habit is it gives you 4 different laws. The first one is make it obvious. Second law is make it attractive. Third law is make it easy. And the fourth law is make it satisfying. So through this book, it kind of teaches you, you know, like how to make things obvious, you know, and then of course, how to make it attractive, how to make your habits easy, how to make it satisfying so that you're more willing to do it. And then, and counteract with that, it actually give you the other inversions of the first law, second law, third law, fourth law, how to break a bad habit that you have. And one thing that I love about it is this thing that it talks about, and it says that, and it talks about, like, you know, until you work as hard as those you admire, don't explain away their success as luck. And I respect that quote so much, just because in today's society, it's so easy to be like, oh, you know, she's just lucky, he's just lucky, it's just pure luck, you know, but some people actually work, you know, their booty off to get to where they're at. And, you know, sometimes it starts with just making a small change to your daily life. And ultimately, by building on top of each little things that you change, it becomes a different habit and you just reach success that way. And then the third one is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This one. And this one, he just kind of, it's more like a business perspective, but at the same time, it's talking about you are in control of your life and who you want to be. So I just love that because, you know, the moral of this whole video is that you, yes, you are in control of your life. And at any point you feel like you're not in control, stop giving people the power to have that control over you. You know, at any time, just always remember you make the choices in your life, not no one else. And I think, you know, as human, we have that ability to comprehend and always grow and analyze stuff. So, you know, always never stop learning, always be open ear to learn and grow. And apart from that, that's all I have for today. Y'all, it's been such a long video, but we finally made it, and that's all I have for today's video. If you stick through, amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you for the support. But this is just something that I feel like I had you know, it was just one of my mission. Just a lot of stuff had happened, and I just want to let y'all know that, you know, stop blaming other people for what happens in your life. You know, you will always be in control of your own life, and if you don't like something, you have the power to change it at any point, anytime, and only you can do that. And, you know, maybe it starts as small as doing something like going to the gym and seeing yourself as like a fitness person, and not like, oh, I'm just going to lose weight, let's say, because, you know, if you wake up and you're like, I want to lose weight, but you don't want to go to the gym, you're probably not going to go to the gym. But yeah, that's the moral of the story, is just always be true to who you are. You're in control of your own life, no one else is, and stop giving people the control over you. Only you do. And I'll leave you guys with that, and I hope you guys have an amazing day, and be sure to like and subscribe to my video.